Declan, you gave everything to try and drag your team over the line, but in the end, as you stand here now, does it feel like just not enough?
Yeah, I think so. I think in the first half, some beautiful bits of play, just didn't have that clinical cutting edge. And then second half, we've done things that we've not done all season. You know, we was very naive in the last 10 minutes and could have easily have handed the game to Man United because, you know, they have got that individual quality and threat. And like I said, we've done things that we haven't done all season, and it was a bit of stupidity from us. But look, to get back in the game, to score and to keep pushing, you know, we had another chance with Martin at the end. It was a real end-to-end game, and it's probably a fair point in the end. So
first half, for kind of 2/3 of the pitch, completely dominant.
Yeah.
Where was that? By the absence of Martinelli for kind of most of the game, Saka, Havertz, Jesus.
Well, look, I think we scored 7 midweek, and that wasn't any luck. You know, PSV had not lost at home for 2.5 years, and we was full throttle. And today, we tried with the same intention, same threat. But Man United, credit to them, they sat in a low block and defended well. And sometimes it takes, you know, a full 90 minutes to break down that low block. And you know, we only managed to get one. We did have a couple of other half chances, but it just wasn't enough creativity today to get us over the line. So, like I said, I think in the end that's probably a fair point because there wasn't much in the game.
Yeah. Your view on the United goal? A little bit of chat in our studio about the gap from the ball to the wall.
Yeah, I've not seen the goal back. It felt like a couple of us jumped and some of us didn't. But I've actually not seen it back. It felt like the ball flew over us quite a low height. So probably from the Wolves' perspective, could have done a lot better. I've not seen it back yet, so I'm going to look.
But no sense for you that you felt quite far back, and it gave Bruno the room to get it.
That's why Anthony said that it did feel far back, because even on our free kick, when Martin took it, they felt far back as well. It seemed more far back than usual, but you know, Anthony's the ref. He makes that decision, and yeah, like I said, I've not seen it back yet, so I can't comment.
No, fair enough. Look, we've seen you in recent weeks actually getting into the box a lot, producing a lot of threat. Talk us through your goal. It's a lovely strike.
Yeah, I was happy. I think that me and the man...
You looked happy, actually.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of banter, you know, football banter between me and the fans. But look, it's an area that I want to keep, you know, getting in. In more recent weeks, I've been making more runs. You know, I've had way more energy about making them off-ball runs, and the ball's been dropping to me a lot more. I've been creating a lot more chances, and you know, to get the goal today was a real nice feeling. But I need to keep adding goals, and you know, that's what the manager wants to play me number 8 for, to create, assist, score goals, and I want to keep doing that. So yeah, it was a good goal.
So, lovely goal. Were you almost as happy with that challenge on Højlund towards the end? Has that got a little fist pump
in the back of the net? And it was just that quick reaction in my brain, and he showed me a little bit of the ball, and obviously with the long legs managed to get round it, but could have been a penalty and potential red. So it's one of them where it's a 50-50, but I had to, you know, try and put my foot in for the team, and lucky enough I made the tackle.
What were those things that you started doing as a team, those last 10 minutes that you haven't done all season?
Just trying to second balls, was trying to flick balls when the ball was dropping, losing our runners, trying to play out from the back with patterns that we never do, and playing Man United, you know, into their press perfectly. And see the chance at the end with Bruno and David making 2 amazing saves. That's why I speak about that naivety of the last 10 minutes. It could have easily have gone in their favour, because other than that, them last 10 minutes, obviously plus Bruno's goal, I didn't see him creating a lot, but it was down to us, and we could have thrown the game away then.
And last question, 15 points now to Liverpool. I know you won't give up, it's not in your DNA, but it's too much, isn't it?
Look, like the manager said, we'll keep going, we'll keep giving everything we've got until the end of the season. Yeah, obviously Liverpool have been amazing all year, you know, credit to them, but it's not over yet. You know, we need to keep pushing. We're Arsenal, we've been hit hard by injuries, we've adapted the best we can, and you know, we still believe in ourselves, believe in everyone, and yeah, we've just got to keep playing the games, and still a lot to play for this year. So yeah, just keep pushing and have the right mindset, and I'm sure we'll be all right.
Thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
So he's not going to give up, and rightly so, but you said today this was a game they needed to win.
Yeah, we did need to win, and when we don't win a game like this, and obviously with our goalkeeper making some extraordinary saves, you know, the question is always forwards. And we are lacking. We're lacking forwards, because I think that when you look at the possession in the first half and the chances created, with a forward in there who's in there for that particular reason, to try and get on the end of things, that's where you miss it. You've got people continuing trying to arrive. You're trying to hold it up for people to make runs. You want someone in there so you could just put it in there and they can finish. And I think that is probably, in the end, will probably cost us, not having that person in there to take those chances, to make it a more comfortable game for us.
I mean, we were just saying to Wright today, Wanyeri's 17, been amazing since he's come to the side. Had a bit of a down day today. It happens when you're a young kid. But they shouldn't be relying on him to be the star at Old Trafford. They've got a central midfield player playing up front. I know they've got injuries, but if you're second and you're chasing to win the league, you need more options than that. And that's why I said, in a way, I actually think they've overachieved in many ways, because this group of players has done amazing. But I still think they need two difference makers to take you from here to take the next step. If you look at what you're competing against, you look at, the Haalands and the Salahs, they need a guy like that. If they get it, they could win everything. Yeah. I really believe that.
Did you share that opinion at the end of last season?
Yeah, everybody did. All the Arsenal fans.
Everybody's thinking it was going to happen in respect of who you're going to get, because that's what we need now. We got so close twice. Looks like we're going to probably get close again this season. You think you just need that piece and then the people to stay fit, and you're probably going to challenge them. I think that we'll be a lot closer to Liverpool with that striker who could take those chances in those moments where Arsenal needed, like we needed today in the first half.
Look what Liverpool has. Look at all the different options. You've got Mo Salah, Jota,
Gakpo,
Diaz.
The six of them. Whereas I think if Saka's out, which he's been absolutely amazing for them, if he's out, is Martinelli going to get the goals? Yeah, I know. A couple of seasons ago he got
15.
You got 15. That's great. But again, those goals have dried up. Havertz is a great player, but he's not a number 9. So you're relying on people to do something that's not their expertise. Just go get an Osimhen or somebody. Go get somebody that it's his job to score goals. You got everything else. Great goalkeeper. Best defence in the league. Midfield is absolutely fantastic. Just need another one in there with Declan and Ødegaard. But go get a striker and a centre mid. You can go win everything. The money's coming in. They're selling the Smith Rowes and those types of players. They must have the money.
Was very, very low, wasn't it, in the summer? So.
Yeah, it was. That's why, again, you could go back to January and say something should have been done to strengthen. I don't know who they could have got, but that's not the job is to try and find somebody, and it didn't happen. And so you have to feel like, again, we have to start thinking about the summer, because you watch a game like that again and you just feel like it's just something missing. Options up front. And we needed that even before Saka
in that sense. Do you feel from
last 10 minutes, Leicester letting goals everywhere, left, right and centre. Never looked like scoring against West Ham, never really looked like scoring against Forest. And I just thought, you're playing in the top league in the top league in the world, in my opinion. You're playing for one of the top teams in the league and you've got no centre forward. No centre forward. I mean, you're asking Mourinho to go up there and play. He come on and got 2 against Leicester. Yeah, they were the last 10 minutes. Good finishes. But you're not going to win the league with him playing up front, and he looks lost up front. He doesn't give you a presence, doesn't give you anything up front, and it's so important, a centre forward. No team ever wins anything without a good centre forward, and Arsenal are suffering at the moment, and I think it's a worry now to the end of the season, because I look at the games and I think they've got to score goals, and there's no goals in them. And it's starting to get a little bit tight there. And then Man City have got some nice fixtures coming up. And it wouldn't be surprised me, Man City, I think, are in 5th at the moment, that they could catch Arsenal.
We keep pushing, but as we reiterated, 85 points is their maximum now, which leaves Liverpool needing a maximum 16. Is it all over?
Yeah.
Really answered the question a couple of weeks ago when they were still in a closer of a shout.
Yeah, I mean, they're 5th in the league and nearer to Arsenal than what Arsenal are to 1st. I mean, in my opinion, I'd be saying now we've got to concentrate and make sure we get in the top 4. I mean, they're too far away. Liverpool got to lose virtually half of their football matches. They've lost 1 all season. It's not going to happen. The league's over. It's finished.
When the players speak after the games, it's on about we just didn't have any cutting edge. You've got to have cutting edge. Cutting edge is very, very important. It's like as if to say, well, once we get that back, but if you've lost that cutting edge and you're not scoring goals, or you don't look like you're going to score goals, don't forget about closing any gap on Liverpool. I agree. I think you should be more worried about the teams coming up behind you, because cutting edge at this level, we've seen it. The amount of times they had possession in United's final third, but we never thought they were certainly going to score 2 or 3 goals, and that's a big part of football.
Why does it go from having cutting edge one game, which they did midweek?
Because they played against a really poor side.
Well, to Declan's point, they haven't lost at home for 2.5 years.
Yeah, and
they've beaten Liverpool, all right, a weakened Liverpool, but Juventus as well.
But that just shows you, I think, the level of this league is really relentless. And don't get me wrong, I think what Manchester United did, they sat deep, made it really difficult for them. But when I think about Arsenal at their best, I think about real pace on the counter-attack. And any time there's any space, when you've got Bukayo Saka, when you play with Trossard and Paul Merson, you haven't got that pace that's really going to... You're not really going to worry about it. Waneri on the right gives you something, but in that respect, double up against him, and they haven't. He summed it up perfectly. It's a perfect analysis. We haven't got that cutting edge with the players they've got right now, and they're not playing at that level, and they're not threatening teams. They're playing lovely football, intricate passes, but unless they're going to score from something from outside the box, the set pieces have dried up. So nothing really is going Arsenal's way. And I agree, they've got to be careful what's going behind them.
You're saying they scored 7 during the week, but they didn't have any swagger about them today. They did like nice bits of possession. But if anything, at the end, you're thinking United are probably going to win it. And United have been dreadful all season. They've produced in 3 or 4 games, United, but you felt sitting there. So I'd be looking at Arsenal's mentality and their swagger going, where was it? You come to United, you must smell that United here for the taking. United were sitting in and hoped, obviously, on the counter-attack. But Arsenal didn't show that. They weren't streetwise. And at the end, they were really open. And United probably should have won the game.
But how do you explain that? That sounds like it's a mentality issue.
Well, it might be. It might be. So we're praising Arsenal the last few years, saying they've done well and they've made progress. But the next step is always the hardest one. So this idea of the last few years going, oh, they made real progress, they finished second, blah. Oh, if you're playing for Arsenal, remember, what could a second to you? If you're talking about winning league titles, don't compare it to United, but where they are. But the next step, getting over the line, is the hardest one. But I'm not seeing an Arsenal team here where they turned up today and you went, I tell you what, they were machine-like, they put United, they knew United were there for the taking, and they weren't even ready to take that step. So forget
in terms of the title race, and Liverpool potentially might have come unstuck with a difficult run of fixtures, certainly through February, but when it came to the crunch, Paul, this is when Arsenal, having beaten Manchester City so impressively, have dropped off, losing at home to West Ham United, failing to get through Nottingham Forest, and then dropping more points here today. As we said, they've dropped.
No, and I think Christian understands that as well. That's probably why he came out. He's probably one of the best talkers, I think. And I think also Ruben probably relied, I think, on his experience, Casemiro's experience. I thought did well in there today. Bruno playing in centre mid. I think he looked at those guys, thought, right, let's be solid, let's defend deeper, be solid in the middle of the park. Obviously, with Garnacho on the right-hand side, I thought he was terrific. And then Mazraoui, especially second half. He made some brilliant runs coming inside. So they had a game plan. And you know what? You'd have to say it came off. So credit to the manager and the players. But again, it's not often you see a Man United team that's got 30-odd% possession. But I think it was needs must. And I think the game probably on Thursday might be quite similar. Against Sociedad. So that is a great blueprint for that game. They need to win, and if they can win the Europa League, Steve, they save their season. Whether you finish 14th or 15th, the Europa League is Champions League, and then you put yourself in a different position altogether.
Yeah, but that's not as easy as said and done, is it? Winning the Europa League at this moment in time.
Well, they probably have the best squad in there, in the Europa League. So why not? You've got to plant a seed and say this is what we're going to do. We're going to go win the Europa League. We've got the squad to do it. They got more than enough players to go and do it. I think even though they've had really difficult season, and the only reason that's, Steve, is because of what they got as players. They can produce it. They did it, against Liverpool, didn't they? Yep. Went to Arsenal and got something, did it again today. And I think maybe that's a blueprint. Don't try and dominate the games. Play on the counter.
Like a cup team, really.
Yeah, play on the counter. You got the players, defend well, and then you got players at the top of the pitch who can win your game in Bruno and obviously Garnacho.
And Garnacho, once someone like Ahmad comes back as well. And I think that when you are playing against a team like Arsenal, a top team that doesn't have the kind of striker that can finish those games off for you, make those games comfortable for you with the possession you have in the first half, you can get away with winning games like that at Manchester United. Playing so deep, Garnacho the furthest forward, because he was, if we're going to be totally honest, he was a real problem for us. Foul for the free kick. So their game plan in that respect worked. But it works because Arsenal can't be ruthless enough in front of goal to absolutely finish them off.
Is that his best game under Amrin today, Garnacho?
You know what? Often we've seen him play on the left and he's quite effective coming inside, but I actually don't mind him on the right because he has to pass the ball more. Mm-hmm. When he plays on the left, he comes inside and he shoots. And I thought he created a lot for his teammates today. So I'll be honest, I rarely watch him and don't think he's a really, really good player. And I really wouldn't want to see him go because I think in a way you got to build around him or, the Kobbie Mainus or the Marcus Rashford. I know he's gone, but you should build around these young guys. I know they might need to sell him for financial reasons. But I want to see these guys play there. and grow and improve and enjoy the good times that we have, because he's been there and it's been quite difficult. But again, today, he was the shining light. Him and Bruno were the ones pushing that team forward when they needed it.
Yeah,
but then you look at, we're talking about centre forwards, then you look at someone like Rasmus Højlund. Now, they've paid what they've paid from 63, 70, whatever it is. And if you're going to be paying that money, you are taking a chance. So you look at Højlund, you know, it was 63, whatever it is. You look at Darwin Núñez, he was 80 something. And then you look at Isak, he was 60 something. It's a gamble. And I don't care what anyone says, whoever you're picking, it's going to be a gamble. So you might as well go in with what you're going to go in for, do your due diligence on that player for how you want to play Arsenal, and just go and get him and make it work, because you can see it can come undone for you, like we're seeing with Højlund at the moment, unfortunately for him, and we've seen with Darwin Núñez. You know, it can go wrong for you, but at the same time, you've got to dip your feet in that water.
OK.
Arsenal's faint hopes of winning the Premier League took another blow on Sunday, despite Declan Rice securing Mikel Arteta's men a 1-1 draw on a day of protest at Manchester United. The Gunners could ill afford any slip-up given their title hopes hung by a thread, but their failure to match Liverpool's result the previous day leaves them needing a miracle with 10 games left. Arsenal sit 15 points behind the leaders after Rice cancelled out Bruno Fernandes' free kick as United impressively overcame recent exertions and the fact they were without 11 players for a game Ruben Amorim simply wanted to survive. The toothless visitors failed to turn first-half dominance into an opener in Arteta's 200th Premier League match in charge, with Fernandes firing the Red Devils ahead with a stoppage-time free kick. David Raya produced key saves before and after Rice rifled Arsenal level as a tame opening period made way for a frenetic second half. Anti-Glazer chants filled the air from the outset on a day when the 1958 supporters group organised United's most significant protest since 2022. Thousands marched on Old Trafford and director Edward Glazer got a first-hand taste of that fury as he watched from the stands, where co-owner Jim Ratcliffe was also in attendance and the subject of some ire. Arsenal started on the front foot and Mikel Merino went close to an early opener, but they dominated possession in passive fashion as they lacked a cutting edge that injured trio Bukayo Saka, Kai Havertz and Gabriel Jesus could have brought. Martin Odegaard saw a low drive held and Leandro Trossard flashed wide as Arsenal looked for a breakthrough that United unexpectedly provided after Trossard fouled Alejandro Garnacho 25 yards out. Fernandes stepped up to the free kick and struck past Raya, whose positioning was suspect, in front of a bouncing Stretford end. Arsenal sought a leveller early in the second half, with Onana getting a touch on a fizzing Odegaard strike before an unmarked Rice volleyed over the resulting corner. United were looking more of an attacking threat, though, and Ryan needed to produce some key saves. The Arsenal goalkeeper superbly stopped Nasser Mazraoui volleying home a Diogo Dalot cross, then prevented Joshua Zirkzee flicking in. But United looked tired, as they did in the final 20 minutes in Thursday's 1-1 Europa League draw at Real Sociedad, and Arsenal half-chances were followed by a 74th-minute leveller as Jurrien Timber showed good awareness and cut back for Rice to slam a first-time strike past Onana. Matthijs de Ligt and Fernandes had attempts for the home side, with substitute Gabriel Martinelli seeing a rifled effort clawed around the post by Onana at the other end. Play was swinging from end to end and Rasmus Højlund could have won it. First Rice got back to stop the out-of-sorts substitute capitalising on fine work by Casemiro and, after Trossard struck wide, he was stopped from meeting a cross by Gabriel. Garnacho lasered over before some stoppage-time drama. Odegaard saw a shot saved and an offside Martinelli lashed over the rebound, then Raya stopped to Fernandes' piledriver before somehow getting back to stop the looping ball being